and you want to blow up and make it into some kind of negative. He is a generational player in the true sense. In an era where we use that word too much, he embodies that. Just continue to build up the rest of the roster. Make sure you hit on your draft picks. Make sure you have the correct coaching staff. Leave Micah exactly where he is.
All right, Lewis, next stop is Cincinnati. After they make theirs the most expensive wide receiver duo in NFL history. If I said they're still going to miss the playoffs next season, is that ridiculous?
No, that's not ridiculous because we understand it's a three-phase game. And I understand that offense gets all the headlines. But, look, you got to make sure that your defense and special teams are on par. And I just don't know how it's going to look for Cincinnati, in particular on the defensive side of the ball, and specifically when you're talking about Trey Hendrickson and whether or not he's going to be back in the fold. Look, Al Golden has a lot of work to do. They generally like to draft and develop on the defensive side of the football. It's going to be imperative that they do now because I don't know where the money's going to come from.
We'll go back to that one later in the week. I have a few thoughts. In the meantime, here's the most interesting question of the day. If someone said Travis Hunter should play wide receiver in the NFL and only wide receiver, is that ridiculous?
Yeah, that is ridiculous. I think you should allow him to play both. Quite honestly, I think he should start on the defensive side of the football because I think that is where, one, he's going to have even more of an impact because he's going to play every down. He can't play every down at wide receiver. It's just, and then quite honestly, if you made him an every down wide receiver, you probably couldn't play him on the defensive side because we know how intensive playing wide receiver is, and you guys have to rotate in and out of there, Harry, because of the fact that you guys are running 40, 50 yards down the field sometimes. So look, let him play both. Let him start on the defensive side, work him in on offense.
Okay, so I have a couple of different ways that this conversation can go here. Let's start by debating one versus the other. And, Lewis, while I know that you were a defensive back yourself, I'm going to allow you to be the judge. I'm going to hand you the honor of my gavel.
Look how excited Lewis got.
Are you kidding me?
You get the gavel.
Okay.
So I got a wide receiver.
The judge. All right. Tell me I lost without telling me I lost.
You know I love you, though.
Harry.
I'm going to be objective about this.
Harry, make the case that Travis Hunter should play on the offensive side of the ball.
Okay, number one, we're going to go with this. Jamar Chase just signed a contract, which is the biggest non-quarterback contract in NFL history, making just north of $40 million per year. Derek Stingley Jr. just got a new contract where he's only making $30 million per year. So that's a $10 million gap difference per year when you look at the wide receiver world and also the cornerback world. Second, I'm going to go to this. I expect Travis Hunter to be a great corner, right? So being a great corner, that means quarterbacks are going to shy away from him. There's not going to be much action to your side. At the wide receiver position, you know the football is coming to you. You know the play where it's going to be a touchdown. You're going to have multiple opportunities to get your hands on that pigskin. Now, I'm also going to say this about Travis Hunter. He loves to dance, celebrating on the football field after he scores touchdowns. Well, you're going to score a lot more touchdowns on the offensive side than you are the defensive side. And I have a little video for Travis Hunter at the wide receiver position. Look at this catch right here. Ooh, Travis, so sweet, so good, mighty fine, just like wine, but he's not even old. But let me also tell you this about Travis Hunter. Check this out. Just go right out. Get that little DB off of me. Call him
that's the one.
Get that little DB off of me.
Who's that against?
Hunter. Now, let me also say this. I do believe that this young man should play both ways. But the wide receiver position is where you get all that cachet. That's the Ferrari, that's the Rolls Royce, that's the Lamborghini, that's whatever car you want to call it.
I like how seriously Lewis is taking this. He was actually taking notes during that presentation. Okay, make the case that he should play on the defensive side.
Well, first, Harry, you talked about money. Hey, we want to start a new tradition. As a DB, he would be the first ever defensive back to get the most non-quarterback money because, like Lewis just said, generational talent. He'll be possibly the best DB in the league when he gets there. That is completely different for just being on a long line of wide receivers to get that type of money. Dancing in the end zone, you can do that when you have the ball skills of a Travis Hunter at the DB position. We started today off with you saying DBs can't catch. Well, you watch this guy, he can catch a daggone football. And when he's out there, he's shutting someone down. Now, when you talk about the ball coming your way, now, I was a cornerback for a long time. I wasn't the best guy. So a lot of times the safety behind me would say, hey, Greeny, you know what? Me and you going to double that guy. So that wide receiver that just got that $40 million, well, when he plays against my team, there's going to be two guys against him every single snap of the game. So when you think the pigskin is coming your way, really the quarterback's off you, and he got to go to his number two guy on the other side. So we shutting that down.
Okay, this is round two. What you're telling me is that as a coaching staff, we don't believe that you're a shutdown corner. We need a safety over.
No. At the wide receiver position, he'd be getting a double team. At the cornerback position, you're out there for the action.
Judge Riddick, will you
talk to him, Lewis?
Okay, Harry, look, everyone knows that, money talks in the NFL, and I understand that. But look, I think Travis Hunter is a guy who's about to kind of change the paradigm. There's going to be a paradigm shift as far as wide receiver versus DBs, because this guy is not just one position.
I agree.
He's a two-position player. So I think the money could wind up being equal anyway, because he's not going to play one. He's going to play two. He's going to set the market at defensive back. Okay, he'll set the market at defensive back. He'll be an instant all-pro on the defensive back side. He can dance all he wants. You don't understand who his mentor is, right?
It's Coach.
Deion Sanders, right?
Right.
Remember, look, other than Billy White Shoes Johnson, he's the most famous dancer in the history of the NFL.
Okay, so
and number three. Okay, I'm going to rule.
Because I have a question.
Okay, defense is where he's going to go. And just remember this, too. Don't think he's going to automatically just get all the balls because he's on the offensive side of the ball. Who's the quarterback going to be? Somebody has to throw it to him.
Thank you.
Defense!
Okay.
Defense rest!
Okay, I'm glad we got that.
I just have to make sure that he knew where
I have a few questions. Let's ask the question on behalf of everyone watching this show.
Yes.
Okay? They call Chuck Bednarik the last 60-minute man, right? Concrete Charlie. He literally played both sides. He played 60 years ago. The question is, can a player in this day and age, can Travis Hunter do something that really no one has done, and that is be a significant contributor on both sides? Yes, there have been guys, Deion played a little receiver. We've seen a little bit of it. But I'm talking about being a major impact player on both sides of the ball. Is that possible?
Yeah, I think it's possible, Greeny. I don't think he can do it at the clip that he did it at Colorado. I don't think you can sustain that over a long period of time. Because, look, the positions that he plays, let's just start with wide receiver in all seriousness, number one. You understand, the kind of maintenance that these guys have to, engage in order to keep themselves on the field. Because look at the amount of running that they do. Just going through training camp, from a team-building perspective, the one position we always worried about from a scouting perspective was making sure we had enough depth at wide receiver. Because you guys get hurt. They have soft tissue injuries. There's no way he could maintain that kind of pace.
Okay.
So he can do it. It's just going to have to be scaled back.
So as a scout then, which is where your soul is on some level, and when we go doing the draft, is he better on one side of the ball than the other? Is there one side where you think, forgetting what he wants and all the rest of that, well, I'm not suggesting that shouldn't be important.
You mean where his skill set is better?
I'm asking you, is he a better corner or a better receiver?
Look, I think he's an instant corner. He's an instant all-pro at corner in the NFL. An instant Pro Bowler.
Okay,
yes,
yeah.
I do. I believe.
That fast.
Yes, I believe he is that.
But not at receiver.
No, I believe he's better at wide receiver. But if I'm a team, I'm starting them at the cornerback position first.
Because?
Because of what Lewis just said. Let me tell you why my brother don't play football. He said, you mean you got to run 40 yards down the field, run back without getting the ball, run 60 yards down the field, come back without getting the ball.
What he's talking about, look, there's an instant return on investment if you put him on the defensive side immediately. Offense is a little bit more nuanced, obviously, a little bit more dependent.
And I think it'll have something to do with situation. If the New England Patriots draft Travis Hunter.